Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to today's edition of Everyday Monday. I'm really excited to talk to you guys. I see something up on my screen. I'm not sure what that is, but let's make sure it's down. All right. Hopefully that triggered. It is all righty. We good. Okay. Technical difficulties tonight, but it's all good. Hey everybody, welcome to Everyday NEECHY. Tonight is Money Monday. My apologies for the delay. We had technical difficulties, but you know what? It happens. It's a virtual world. This type of thing happens. If you guys don't know me, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a social media expert, marketing guru, editor-in-chief of a magazine, and also an entrepreneur myself, which is why I really want to be able to have this conversation tonight for gig workers and everything about your money, your taxes and everything like that. So before I bring my guest on, I want you to go ahead, share this video, hit the like button, hit the follow button. If you know anyone who is a musician, if they are a hairstylist, a barber, a graphic designer, if they do social media marketing, if they work off and do video editing, any of those things where they get paid in an unconventional type of way, and they need some help and support as far as their taxes are concerned. Last year, there was so much money left on the table because, especially in our community, did not take advantage of the pandemic aid relief for several reasons. Either one, because we didn't know how to apply. Two, we didn't have our paperwork in order, or three, we did not know about the time restraints. And so tonight we want to have that conversation. Before we get started, I just want to make sure that I have shared this out everywhere. And if you all can share it out everywhere, that sure would be a blessing. And I know y'all have seen this t-shirt before. So before everybody starts, saying, has Neech worn that shirt before? Yes, I have. And you're probably going to see it a million more times. Why? Because this is from my brand, Big Drip Threads. And so, I got to be a walking billboard. And you can too if you go over to the website, www.bigdripthreads.com. You can get all the No Fear tees in all the colors, and they're going to be dope. And the hoodies are going to start shipping actually Monday of next week, if not before. Hoodies are on pre-order: burgundy, gold, green, black, and then the t-shirts in all kind of colors. So if you are looking at this t-shirt on today, I need you to get comfortable with it because you're going to see it again. All right. So while I'm sharing this out, I'm going to share this to just to my page real quick, just to make sure everybody can see it. Make sure you guys can see it. Make sure you hit the like and the follow button. Hit the like and the follow button and then share this. All right. Let's get into this conversation. Nicole, she is a certified public accountant, Nicole Freeman-Kirkland. She's mad dope. She's mad cool. She has her own company. We're bringing her on the screen now. She helps out so many people. And she was the perfect person to have this kind of conversation with because we need it. Nicole,
hey.
Welcome to the Everyday NEECHY platform.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're not a stranger because you've been on Money Monday with me in times past.
True.
So I'm just really excited to have this conversation for a number of reasons, because I just feel like the more information that we have, the better we can be. And I don't know about anybody else that's watching, but Neech don't want to leave no money on the table in 2021.
Yes, me either. I don't want to leave none either.
So before you kind of take us through the steps of what we need to do as gig workers, just give everybody some insight. You all have seen Nicole on this platform before, but for those of you who have not seen her, I just want to give her an opportunity to reintroduce herself and to share about her business and her platform.
Sure. So as Nichy said, I'm a certified public accountant. My firm is located in Detroit, Michigan. It's called By the Numbers CPA. I've been doing this about 20 years in public and private accounting. For me, I just love to share information, and working with small business owners, the questions typically are the same. So I'm just on here tonight to kind of break down some things for gig workers, get things in order, get them taxes going, save some money, do things right, and release the stress that I find people have at tax time. So let's do it.
What seemed to happen last year, what I saw with a lot of people is they missed the deadline. We saw some people who were getting $10,000 and $20,000, and that's what I hope that we can convey tonight. The money that we're talking about, in some cases maybe it is $500 or $600, but in some cases I saw people, business owners, gig workers, small businesses who were getting $10,000 and $20,000 last year. Some were grants, some were loans, some were loans that have a low percentage rate, or some were loans that were forgivable at some point. Either way.
Yeah. Money.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Go ahead and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so the number one thing that I found is just people were not ready organizational wise to apply for the money. Tax returns weren't filed. They didn't know what they had coming in, what their expenses were, how to show that they needed, to show the PPP people they needed the money. So I just found a lot of my tax season was working with those people and getting them to, apply for the monies. And then, like you said, the timeline ran out, the monies ran out. A lot of people that needed the money, couldn't get it. So the goal this year is to let you know what will be needed for the PPP funds, and just in general, how to have things in order for tax time. You see me fanning because
you hot.
I'm at that age.
Y'all get y'all auntie, Nicole. Y'all get y'all auntie and get your other aunties and invite them into this conversation. They need to know what's going on and what we're talking about. One of the things that I saw last year with this was just maybe everybody just kind of felt overwhelmed. I think it was part of that also, was just feeling overwhelmed about what was happening, how to apply. People going on the IRS website, it's not working. There's a pause on the payments. And it just kind of became, I think, to a point where people just kind of gave up. But fam, what I'm trying to tell you is, in the space where you are right now, where you might have a little bit of struggle, you can at least get a little bit of cushion with that by supplying for these relief funds. So we're going to go from top to bottom. Get your pens and pencils, hit the invite button, hit the like button, hit the follow button, hit the share button, because tonight's broadcast is going to be short, because tonight we mean business. Okay, so you got about 20 minutes to get this information and be connected. And also, before Nicole breaks that down, if you're on Clubhouse, make sure that you are following both of us, because we had a really good conversation yesterday where we broke down some more tips and a lot of questions were able to be answered. If you have questions, you can drop them in the comments. I'm going to share some of the questions that I've already received once Nicole breaks down that list of what gig workers need to do. And hopefully by the time this conversation is over, even if you're watching on the replay, you'll feel much more comfortable about going into this year and applying for that relief aid. So go ahead, Nicole.
Okay. So what I put together is 5 things that all gig workers need to do at minimum. There are 5 things. So working with gig owners, a lot of, not quote unquote gig owners, independent contractors, therapists, stylists, anyone paid by a 1099 or running their own business. My number one question I get is, how can I get my business in order? Here are the 5 things. So if you plan to continually work as a contractor worker, my number one recommendation for you is to set up an LLC. It's an easy process. The state of Michigan, if you're in the state of Michigan, makes it pretty easy to go online and do it pretty quick. $50 to the state, right? If you need assistance, call me. And then get an EIN number as well. All right. And so then when you're doing these gigs and they ask you for your information for the 1099, you're going to give them the business name and the EIN number. Okay. You want that 1099 to come in the business name and the EIN number of your business. Number one, because then in the IRS's eyes, you are a business, right? And the IRS is going to treat you like you're a business because you're getting this 1099. So let's take advantage of it. Okay. Number 2, question, Neechi?
Yep. Keep going.
Okay. So number 2, once you have your certificate from the state and that EIN number, you want to open up a bank account, a business bank account, right? In the name of your business with the EIN number of your business. All right. After that business account is open, you're going to use that account for all your income. That's Cash App, PayPal, Square. It's all going to dump into this business account. All your expenses, you're going to use a debit card. You're going to pay online. You're going to write checks. And you're going to keep track of any cash payments. Okay. So now you're set up. Your accounting is flowing. All your monies and everything is coming to a centralized place. So at tax time, or if somebody's working with you, they can just take those bank statements and compile what you need for your profit and loss. Right. And then for tax purposes, you have it all together in one place. Easy peasy. The purpose of you looking at your profit and loss, at least quarterly, is to know if you are making a profit continually, you want to look at quarterly tax payments so that at the end of the year, when you file, you're not hit with this $5,000 tax bill. Okay. So that's number 2. That's number 4. Quarterly, looking at your quarterly profit and loss to see if you're making sizable profits, to know if you're going to end up owing taxes and to pay in advance. or start making a plan. Okay. And those were the actually 5 steps. And so that will keep your business organized. That's going to keep the IRS from off your door, and it's going to allow you to take advantage of all your tax expenses that you get to write off. Okay, so it's easy peasy. It's just really 5 steps.
So based upon what you said, I've already received like inboxes and questions based upon some of what you've already said. So I'm just going to fire away. Okay. And if you all have questions, you can drop them in the comments, or you can inbox me and I will make sure that I try to ask them. Okay. So number one, keeping track of the finances. Yes. What is the best way to do that? I know that you mentioned at one point, if you have QuickBooks, if you're at that stage, to dump your bank statement information in there. Yeah. But for a person that is not trying to be all deep into QuickBooks, what are some other options?
So what I say for manual versus an accounting system, which is what QuickBooks is, I say manual because, of course, it's not to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on QuickBooks if it's not going to be beneficial to you. So manually is a spreadsheet, right? So if you have this business account, right, and you have all the monies coming to it, it's easy peasy to just use the bank statements, right? Because that's all, all your money's being essentially dumped there. You can always keep track of your income. For expenses, though, if you just want to keep a spreadsheet, if they're really small expenses, you just have a couple of things here and there, you can use a spreadsheet for that. It's just something you can provide at the end of the, year for your tax preparer. That makes sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an intricate process. It's just keeping track of it. Heck, throw them in an envelope and do it at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Just something that you're keeping track of everything.
So one of the things that I think is unique is that there is a lot of money that comes through Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, what have you. And did that hurt anybody last year if that income was not on their LLC or was not on their business? Did it hurt them in getting relief for these funds last year?
I won't say it hurt them. What hurt them is if they didn't have a tax return filed showing that they actually reported this income to the IRS. Because the whole goal of the PPP is for them to see that you were impacted by the pandemic. And the only way they can know that is if in 2019 you were making a sizable amount of money, and in 2020 you stopped because of the pandemic. So, I mean, that's why they were giving the funds to people. You get what I mean? So you just have to be able to prove that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's really just about having some type of system in place, be it manual or QuickBooks. Now, a lot of people find QuickBooks online to be very easy because, like you said, it links to your bank account. You don't have to do a lot with that because everything syncs over from the bank account, and you can push a button and see your profit or loss. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
With the QuickBooks scenario, for those of you who are nervous about using that, like she mentioned, the online is very easy to use. And I think if you get in on one of their deals, it's like $15, maybe even $12 per month. Yeah. But what you can do is that system, like she mentioned, will pull in all of your banking information. Yes. But also, if you have any issues with organizing it, you can hire Nicole, her firm. They will tap into your QuickBooks and they will help you to get it organized. That's one of the things, Nicole, that I think that sometimes that we don't realize that there's an opportunity for help. So we let it get overwhelming. I'm guilty. I've been there. And so we let it get overwhelming when, for a couple of Starbucks or, sacrifice of a Starbucks for a week or two, you all can have an accountant on your side who will go in, make sure your stuff is straight and make sure you get the maximum benefits. All right. Okay. Let me keep going with these questions. All right. How can I get an EIN number?
All right. So you want to go to www.irs.gov. And when you get on that page, there's going to be a whole bunch of options. You want to select employer identification number, and it'll walk you through step by step. It's a 5-minute process, literally. But you have to have some type of business. Well, I won't say that. You have to have a business name that you're going to use to put in there, to get the EIN number under that business name. But it's real simple. And then what happens is they walk you through the process and you can literally print out the EIN letter at that point.
It's immediate, right?
Yep. 5 minutes.
All right. One of the questions that we received earlier was, will this scenario of a gig worker, for you all that are just joining in, during this whole pandemic relief scenario, gig worker became like a big title. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, oh, I'm a gig worker. Oh, you're a gig worker. Oh, you a gig worker too? We all gig workers. You know what I'm saying? So this gig worker term was like We became gig workers.
Very
Okay.
popular now, yes.
Right. So there was a guy that asked a question when we were in one of our sessions, and he had a contract to do contractual work. So let me give the best example of that. Possibly maybe a graphic designer who in the month of January, you received a contract from a business or a ministry or what have you, or a verbal agreement that they were going to have you to do their graphics for a period of 6 months. When you get into month 3, COVID hits, everything goes bonkers. Can they do anything about that money that was lost? Is that money considered lost? What can they do? It was money that was promised. They were working towards it, but is there anything that they can do concerning that money? Can they apply for underemployment? Can they make any amendments or changes to their taxes that would be beneficial?
So, okay, so that's a 2-part question. So in terms of accounting, in the IRS's eyes, if the income hasn't been previously reported, so that gets into a little bit of accounting 101. A lot of people, when they have these contracts, they book accounts receivable on their books, which means that they're putting in their income that they're going to get this money, right? That's the only time the IRS will allow you to write off a bad debt because you didn't receive those monies, right? If you're cash basis, where you just track what you get in and what you put out, the IRS is not going to let you take a loss on that because they have no, insight on you receiving that money, period, to be able to say it was a loss. You get what I mean? Does that make sense? I know it's kind of accounting, but so in IRS's eyes, you can't just take a loss because you didn't get those monies. Now, on the other side, if you incurred expenses because you were expecting this contract to go through, you can definitely write those off and take advantage of those losses. Okay. Now, when you talk about underpayment, are you talking about unemployment?
Can they apply for any type of unemployment or underemployment if that was money that they thought they were going to have, but they're not going to have?
So definitely the state of Michigan, I know for sure, has that pandemic UIA portion of the unemployment. So any self-employed worker who has sizable, significant decreases in income, so in this case that would fit, they can apply for the PUIA portion of the self-employment, right? And that just looks at their 1099 from a prior year and allows them to collect those benefits.
So in order to get the PUA, where are they going to apply for that? And you said that they need to have a previous year 1099.
Yeah, at least a 1099 from 2019, right? Or now 2020, right? And just showing that income has stopped or they're not going to receive it due to the pandemic. You get what I mean? So it's just really questions. And a lot of people I know are receiving benefits based off that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's go to y'all. When I'm looking down, I'm looking at my phone so I can see your comments. Okay. So the next question is it best to have your business license before requesting an EIN?
Now, by business license, I'm going to assume they mean with the state or county that they're operating in, because that a business license is separate from the articles of organization. So should I go with that thought? Right. Okay. So the real thing that you need for the EIN is a business name, because some sole proprietors who are not an LLC or any type of other business entity have an EIN number. So it's really just a business name that you're going to operate under is the biggest thing that you need for an EIN number. So to answer her question, no.
If you guys are just joining in, we have about 10 minutes left because I said that tonight we was going straight for the jugular. No games, no fluff, because I saw too many of us last year who missed out on money for one reason or another. We missed out on this relief money. It is available. I also saw a lot of people who received 10,000, 20,000. I saw large businesses, ministries, corporations, and things receive money. Family, you deserve this. We are in the middle of a pandemic. It is available to you. And tonight, I'm hoping that you have the tools and the resources to be able to get it. So we're going to take some more questions. I'm going to read some more and share some more with Nicole. But while we're doing that, hit the like button, hit that follow button. Y'all know y'all want to follow. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? That's how you show support to this page, is by hitting the like button and the follow button. So if you're being blessed by anything that we share here, hit like, hit follow. I'm seeing your orders right now come in over on bigdripthreads.com. Thank you all so much. That's a blessing, because we come on here, we share this information, and by you doing that, you help to support this channel to ensure that we can continue to do it. Stuff ain't free. Just because we saying it is not a charge for it. There is a process to getting the word out. So I just want to thank you all for your support. Thanks for going to bigdripthreads.com and making your purchase. Okay. If you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments section. Some people like to inbox them to me because they don't want their question answered on air. That is fine as well. But whatever you do, ask the question tonight. So, Nicole, for those, I saw last year where people were hiring someone to navigate the process of them getting pandemic aid relief funds. Good thing to do, bad thing to do? Are there people who are qualified to do that? Is it necessary to have someone do that? Can it be done on your own? Just break that whole thing down for us.
So that's a catch-22. I have some people that I'm working with now to kind of fix some things that happened. You had some people working with people putting in information that wasn't necessarily true till they can get the, largest checks. That is going to come back at some point because of the whole process of now with the forgiveness and having to, show proof of all that stuff. So I would say if you're working with somebody, just make sure they're reputable and that you know what they're filing for you. Okay. The revenues they're showing, the expenses that they're showing, what they're saying about you when they submit that, because at the end of the day, you're liable to what they put in there when it comes time to prove it. So it's a good thing to help you navigate through for someone who knows the bells and whistles, but just be aware of what they're filing for you.
Fam, again, I say, sometimes, and I'm telling you, I've been guilty of being totally stressed out because I did not just reach out for help. Yeah. And so tonight, what we're telling you is, and Nicole's information will be in the description box, and we may be able to get it on the screen before we go, but reach out to her, book a consultation. What's the website?
So it's www.bythenumbers, and numbers is with a Z, CPA.com.
No excuses.
Let's talk about it. It's free charge. It's a conversation. It's free.
No excuses. Okay, let's talk about those who received a loan. Can you just break down for us how these particular loans are structured? What's required as far as paying back, and what's required for it to be forgivable?
Okay, for the PPP money. So
yeah.
So we got round 2 coming around right now, right? So in that whole tax code that they made a whole bunch of changes that affect that round 1 of PPP, right? So if you receive funds under 150, they made the process of forgiveness very simplified for you, right? So if your primary purpose for the PPP loan was to pay yourself, right? You pretty much just need to show how much you paid yourself. They're going to ask you, how much did you pay for payroll? Payroll is you, and you're going to put in the total amount of that loan. Right. And then, it calculates into that being 100% forgivable, because as long as you used it for 60% of payroll, it's right off. Okay. But you can also use it for wages. You can use it for your mortgage or your lease payment for your business. You can use it for utilities for your business. And now you can also use it for PPP supplies. All right. So there's a lot of things that you can write off to show how you use all those money. So really, it's just telling them what you used the money's for, pushing a button, and they're going to say, okay, this has been forgiven.
For those who have home-based businesses, or they work out of their home, well, I guess everybody's working out of their home now, right. But so they don't have an actual office space to go to. Those write-offs that you mentioned, are those applicable for them also?
That gets tricky because, for instance, if you're looking at using some of your mortgage or your rent for your home office, I would say ixnay on that. No, you just want to kind of focus on you paid yourself, just so it doesn't get tricky with the whole, what part of at home is personal, what part is business, right? So we want to think about an actual facility you rented to operate your business out of, separate from your home. Okay, but PPP definitely, you can use that even if your office is at home.
Okay. All right. I'm about to give her the last question, you all. I hope you were taking notes. So we just talked about the home-based scenario. We have a lot of people who started businesses last year during COVID. A lot of people who participated in things, they have a home-based business because they're doing health and wellness. They're doing credit repair. They're doing something along those lines. It's home-based. They have paid into something so they can be a part of a company. but they're also responsible for maintaining a monthly or a weekly purchase or what have you. But they do work from home. They do have income. They may not be in the hundreds of thousands per year, but they're making something. What should that type of home-based person be doing right now?
So right now, definitely for tax purpose, at minimum, it's kind of organizing, how much money you brought in, what your expenses were, so that you can do that profit and loss statement on your tax return. Okay, because that's number one. Because if this continues, you want to be able to show that you had a Schedule C, right, for your business if you want to get PPP monies again or for the first time. Okay, so I would say start gathering your receipts, start looking at your pay sources, PayPal, Cash App, Square. Because the biggest thing is to capture all your income. That's what the IRS mostly cares about, is that you're reporting all your income, right? If Cash App, Square, PayPal send anything to the IRS like a 1099, okay, which they don't do that unless it's over a certain amount. But if they do, the IRS is going to be looking for you to report at minimum that income. So you want to be, you want to capture all that. That's what I would say right now. It being January, you have until April to file, as to kind of gather that information together. And two, if you've been using a business account and you tap into QuickBooks now, it will let you go back to January 1, 2020 and pull everything over for you. So that's if you've been using a bank account already.
So the bank account really is a good source right now, because as she mentioned early on, for those of you just logging in, the bank account is a really good source because it automatically dumps all the information, makes it available to your accountant. So if you're a person that doesn't like to keep receipts, you don't like to, put stuff together, you don't like to keep track of things, the bank statement, and really, I think one of the banks sometimes will even categorize and put a graph together for what your spending has been for that year. So you can see how much money you spent on food or utilities or whatever the case may be. So,
yeah. And then in QuickBooks, not to keep talking about QuickBooks, but once you allocate an account to a certain expense, once that expense keeps coming through, it automatically does it for you. It's a beautiful thing. And the bank statement, another reason why that's so important is because it's a third party source. The IRS just wants proof, right? So a bank statement of all things is a third party source saying, hey, I actually collected this money. Hey, I actually spent all these expenses. It just makes it easier for you.
All right, last question. For real, y'all. This is the last one. For anyone who has not, and Jerice, I see your question about the website in the comments. We'll make sure that her web address is in the comments. For anybody who did not receive a stimulus check last year,
yes,
they never got the first one, what are the likely reasons that they didn't? And is that stimulus check retroactive in any kind of way?
Well, number one, I would say the IRS was overwhelmed with that whole stimulus. There are tons of people that did not receive the first round. A lot of reasons that it may not is because they didn't have your current information. They didn't have, direct deposit information from you filing in prior years, or you didn't file 2019 or 2018. You know what I mean? So those were like the significant things for them to be able to determine how much stimulus you would qualify for. Right. So the saving grace is that for 2020 taxes, if you didn't receive your stimulus, you will receive it then as part of a refund. Right.
Go ahead and shout, y'all. If you didn't get your stimulus check last year, go ahead and shout, because it's still yours. It's still available to you.
But even better now, you get it right when you need it. Amen.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people who were saying that they got their stimmy over this weekend. So I'm glad to hear that those direct deposits were hitting a little bit faster.
Yeah, because there's the 2019 information.
So can people, do they still need to, with it being, for right now, since everything does seem to be moving a little bit better, do people still need to go online and check for where their payment is like we were doing last year?
If there's any issues with the account information that was put on the 2019 return, definitely go to that site. I think it's Where Is My Stimulus? And it will allow you to go in and change and update your bank information. So you'll definitely do that. But if there's no issues with 2019 information that they have, then you're fine. You're fine. And even if the task tried to be sent to the bank account and it's an issue, they will mail it. Yeah.
You just basically need to have your stuff on point. That's really what it's for. Nicole, give them the web address again, the phone number, the everything, because family, I will say this again. This year, I put a post up on my social media today and I said, I just want to see all my friends win. I just want to see all my friends win. And one of the ways that I've seen, even for my own self, my own life, where I was losing was just because of lack of information. And then B, once I got the information, my lack of doing something with it. So tonight, I hope that you got the information and I hope that you utilize it. Like right now, like tonight, you guys need to be inboxing her on Facebook or going to her website and letting her know that you need to have a conversation so that you can have all your stuff straight so you can get your coins, because we need to be where the money resides.
21, yes.
Where the money resides. Okay, that's my vacation at all year is where the money resides.
I love that.
My vacation at all year. Where's NEECHY? Where the money resides. That's where I'm gonna be. So I don't want to miss out on nothing. So give them the website and everything so they can contact you.
Sure. So before I give the site, I wanted to also say taxes don't have to be overwhelming. This accounting process doesn't have to be overwhelming. Just get a consultation. I promise you, you'll feel much better at the end. But the website is www, and that's ByTheNumbersCPA.com. That's ByTheNumbersCPA.com. Our contact number is 586-296-0771.
All right, you guys heard it. You have all the information there. You have the web address. You have everything that you need. Y'all, we gonna be dope this year.
Yes.
It's gonna be all good. All right. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Check out my t-shirt and go get you one. Okay, go get everybody go get you one. Okay, tonight, www.bigdripthreads.com. We have a big sale on the t-shirts. The end of the closeout of these shirts. So big sale on the t-shirts, and then the hoodies are on pre-order. Those are gonna start shipping really soon. So this is really a dope time for you to get the t-shirt on super sale. Like, I mean, here again, it's information is at a discount. You just need to go get it. www.bigdripthreads.com. You can also, to support us, you can hit the like button, hit the follow button, and hit the share button. That really helps to support this channel so that we can reach more people. And then, of course, financially, you can sow by Cash App or by PayPal, which is in the description. And if it's not, it will be. And it's also pinned in the comments down below. So we got you covered. All right. I want to thank you guys so much for watching tonight. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.